What do you do anyway?
I'm a writer, I guess.
Yes, don't you know?
You get 2 sheets every Saturday. You put the clean sheet in the top sheet in the bottom sheet you turn in the laundry board. Any man turns in the wrong sheet spends the night in the box. No one will sit in the bunks with dirty pants on. Any man with dirty pants on sitting on the bunk spends the night in the box. Any man don't bring back his empty pop bottle spends the night in the box. Any man loud talking spends the night in the box.
She's the food and entertainment director on her family farm. It's Carolyn Sheridan from the Ag Health and Safety Alliance. Time once again to see what we can do to help our family farmers.
Very excited to have Carolyn on today, and this is, of course, the one show Carolyn absolutely loves more than any other show. Every year.
Show. I can't wait.
Carolyn,
every year.
A pleasure to have you on. We walk a tightrope here, but I want to introduce our guest before we get to that. You brought on Sean Cross, PhD, and I believe that is the University of Nebraska Medical Center. You're a professor there, sir, a doctor there?
That's correct.
Welcome to the program. You are an assistant professor in the Department of Environmental, Agriculture, and Occupational Health, right?
Yeah, it's a mouthful, but yes.
It is a lot. For folks to know, you are a doctor that specializes in tick diseases, correct?
Yes. Yep. That is my focus.
And are you on the cure side or just labeling them? Are we trying to cure these ticks of whatever they've got? Is that what we're trying to do? Tick disease is up or down, or what are we at?
Yes. There's a lot of different ways for us to target this, right? There are some people that want to focus on how do we prevent ticks from getting these pathogens that cause disease. And there's other sides of how do we treat them if we actually get infected with them. And then I am in a big portion where it's kind of the surveillance aspect of what is actually out and about in the environment with these ticks.
What is the number one killer of ticks? I presume it's got to be like busted legs or something. And they have like 6 of them. You break a leg in the wild, you can't get away from your predators. Is it something like that? Is that what we're worried about?
I don't think we're trying to save ticks. Are we, Sean? Are we trying to save ticks?
I would not save ticks per se.
Not saving tick.
It's your Hippocratic oath. You're a doctor of ticks. You must do all you... Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Here's what I want. I'm a little concerned, Sean. You may or may not know this about Carolyn.
Yes.
Did you ever watch her Everybody Loves Raymond, that sitcom?
Yes.
Yes. And you remember the frog lady from Massapequa? She showed up for dinner and she ate the fly, and then he still wanted to date her because she was really cute, and then goes to her house and she has all these massive frogs. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah, it freaks everybody out. But here's the problem. Carolyn is the tick lady of Iowa. No. Yes, you are.
No, I'm really not. This
is your favorite. All the shows we do, this is the one you love. Literally, like 3 years ago, she was so excited to show me her tick collection.
Tick jar. I know.
Yeah. She pulls this thing out, and she's got a half a dozen different brands of ticks that she's pulled off her body.
It's a little smaller.
She thrives on running around in the woods at her place, trying to get them on her so she can add to her collection. It's freaky, sir. It is freaky.
Yeah, but Sean really, he appreciates it, right, Sean?
I do appreciate it because actually I would love if you're out and about and you get your tick, send it my way. I would love to see it.
No. Sean, okay. The last thing my U.S. Postal Service guy wants is me sending envelopes of ticks through the mail that I pulled off myself.
It's a great system. Really, we're going to put, on your Facebook, Al, we're going to put how people can do this. It's very simple. Actually, last week, Sean and I were on a meeting together, and we were talking about the things that we're doing, and Sean brought up the fact that he's surveilling ticks. And you just go onto their website and you can click and Sean, tell people what you have to do.
No, with surveilling ticks, you guys got to start using. You got to use different language because you say he's surveilling ticks. I see him on a swing hanging over the grass with binos, and he go, "Oh, there's one. Oh," and I'm surveilling. Oh, look at that. He's crawling on grass. What do you mean surveilling ticks, sir?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Because that can't be what you're doing.
So what we're trying to do is we are trying to get people to send in their ticks to this program totally free.
Seriously,
this program is totally free. It's available for everyone. It's called Nebraska Tick Testing. But again, you don't have to be Nebraska to send it to us. It's only because we are hosted in Nebraska at University of Nebraska Medical Center. But we want people to send in their ticks. We will tell you what type of tick it is, and then we're going to screen it for a bunch of different pathogens and say, did your tick test positive for these pathogens? Just because the tick did or didn't test positive doesn't mean that you're infected, but it just adds a layer of knowledge for you. So if you're saying, I don't feel good and I know I got bit by this tick and it tested positive, let me go talk with my doctor and see, is this an option for me to be treated for tick-borne diseases?
I'm almost thinking you and Carolyn at some point you're pulling my leg on this. You're just going to say, we got you, Al. You see her. So Al goes golfing Saturday.
Okay.
Once in a while, goes in the woods. Don't say I get it. And I get a couple ticks on me. Let's just say this happens. You want me to what? Pull them off, rip them off with burn them off. Can I burn them off with you? That was always a good way to burn them off.
That's not the way. You do not want to burn them off. You want to
because that room for science experiments. Okay, but I get them out, and then I put them in an envelope, lick and seal them with my name on them, and send them to you. Seriously, you want to get 5-10 of the exact same kind of ticks off Al's golf course?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. So you'll stick it in a little baggie. The website has a form just so we know where did this tick come from and
a Ziploc baggie, I presume.
What was that?
A Ziploc baggie, one of the little ones.
Baggie. Exactly.
There you go.
Ziploc baggie, some information about the tick on the form. You write that number on the baggie so we know which.
Some information about the 6 legs. What am I going to tell you about the tick?
We want to know where it came from. We like.
Okay.
His
home.
His home. Our visitor came from this location, and so the more ticks we have, the more information we can say about. Hey, Al's golf course is not a good place to be for.
You get a lot of this there. Okay, that's fun. So I mail them off, and you'll take the time, and then this is going to get graphic, folks. But you crunch them all down into nothing, and then put them in a microscope, and then you can tell me what it is. How do you find out what a tick's got?
We'll look at it, and we'll say, okay, this is this type of tick, because you can tell just from features that are on the tick what type of tick it is. And then, we basically squished up.
You must be fun at parties, Sean. Oh my God!
Tick stuff. We'll smash it up with a BB really fast. So imagine your oscillating tool, right? We're workers, so we know when we're talking about how it just goes really fast. Basically, same thing. Smash it up to little bits, and then we run some molecular biology approaches to then screen for the pathogens in there. And so from that, then we were like, hey, we know what type of tick it is, and we know what sort of things were inside that tick, and we'll give you that data back.
Yeah,
and go.
For people like me who I have not had one attached or bitten yet this year, but every year there's at least one or two. And I have been concerned. I'm like, oh, shoot, am I going to get Lyme's disease? And some of the other diseases, too. And Sean, we could talk about that. There's some new diseases that we're not too excited about that are moving into our region of the country.
New diseases. Right, okay, we know about the Lyme. We know about the Lyme. So that'll tell you if this tick's got you. Lyme is one you can find. Rabies? What else? I mean, I can name 2 outdoors. Don't laugh at me, Carolyn. I don't know. Can they give you rabies?
I could give you, there's a lot of tick-borne diseases, which is not great to hear, right? No one wants to hear that there are a lot of diseases you can get. But big ones are, Lyme disease. There's Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Get out of here.
So it's a pretty nasty.
I'm 60 and I do not know of anyone who ever got the Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Really? Oh, that'd be a good one to get.
It's not the most common, but it can be out there. Okay. You can get tularemia, which most people think about with rabbits, but you can get it from ticks as well, from the tick bite. There are other ones, but there's some that actually don't get caused by a pathogen itself. So a microbe or bug within the tick doesn't have to cause a disease. The Lone Star tick that's in this area moving in, establishing, it's really important.
That was from Texas. And that's
thus the name. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's coming from the south area and moving upwards, and it's coming here in the central states. And people that get bit by the tick, not everyone, but a number of people actually develop allergies from the tick bite. So you become allergic to red meat. It's called alpha-gal syndrome, but it's commonly
out of here.
Allergies. So if you get
out of curiosity, you study this, Sean. You and I would have a great time over a couple of beverages in my house. I swear to God.
Invite me over. Let me know.
this Lone Star tick invasion. How long does it take a tick that big with his 6 little legs to get here from Texas? Good God.
Yeah. So
has this been going on for a millennium?
Yeah, so it's like a little bit at a time, and as things are warming up, as climate changes, they're saying, actually, this is a good place for me. It's kind of the exact opposite, where we try to go south, and when it's wintertime, they're now moving northward because they're realizing, hey, it's a bit warmer up here.
Even if they made a great plan, how in the heck do they get here,
They
sir?
probably get here on people and pets. Would be
Exactly.
Was that-
Animals,
okay.
yes.
Yeah,
As people,
Okay, that's what I was asking. My God, get on the motorhome. Let's go. I mean, good God. Okay.
I know you're kind of laughing about this. I was seriously excited as you come because every year I have, and my family calls me like the tick magnet. I can walk out and behind, you can see in my screensaver thing, whatever, here there's all this grass, there's like a pasture. I love to walk there, and we have big dogs, we have big labs, and we have cats now too. And I can be out there, and I can come in the house and I'll have 3 or 4 crawling on my pants or whatever. I have all the things. I have gators. I have
See, this
all the things.
this is little known. We've got to go to break. I got to go to break. We'll talk more about ticks on the other side. But Carolyn likes this whole tick thing so much. I thoroughly believe when she goes walking through the meadow, it's completely naked, hoping to get more ticks. That's what she does. We'll be back after this with more of the Al Travis Show.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put out the perfect barbecue flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. Add it to your ribs, dip the meatballs, or drench your wings in the original flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or whatever. Grandpa's Barbecue. Available in select stores and online at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
There are many ways to explore Alexandria. Some like to experience the outdoors and all the fun winter in Minnesota can provide. Pick your favorite way to get in touch with nature. Others like to explore downtown in the warm comfort of a boutique or gathered around a table with friends. You can do all of that or relax and do nothing at all. Come explore Alexandria. Start planning at explorealex.com.
Don't need to ask him his opinion more than once. Al Travis on the Al Travis Show.
It is the Al Travis Show. We have Carolyn Sheridan in with the Ag Health and Safety Alliance. It's Tick Week. She loves this week. She brought in a guest. He is Dr. Sean Cross. He is a doctor at, let me see this, University of Nebraska Medical Center, and he's with Environmental, Agriculture, and Occupational Health. Probably want to do some serious stuff as you're getting ticked at me for my tick humor. So let's say Carolyn Sheridan, once again, rollicking freely in her backyard, and she gets a tick on her. The walking around one's easy enough to pick off, put it in this envelope. We'll discuss a little bit more about that and send it to you. But what about the dreaded tick that's already bit you? Because I'm going to tell you, in my golf experience, a red-hot cigar butt to the backside of a tick will make it decide to leave. But you said don't do that the lighting them on fire is a bad thing. Doctor, best way of removing a tick?
Best way to remove a tick is use some fine nosed tweezers, and you grab as close as you can to your skin and pull straight up. You don't want to try to twist or anything, just kind of grab it and pull straight out. So you don't want to accidentally, rip parts off. You don't want to burn it. Don't want it to kind of regurgitate into you. There's also some tick tools that I've seen that people have off Amazon. I think they work pretty well. It's the same concept. Basically, it slides around your skin, and then it can hook right there where the mouth parts are and then pull it right out.
When you talk about regurgitating still into you, this, I presume, happens when the head becomes disembodied from its body, correct? You pull it off, the head stays in?
So you pull it off, and hopefully the head doesn't stay in. But if it does, it's not the end of the world. It'll be a little bit of an irritant because you'll just kind of have this.
Well, as a doctor, you would agree with me. Carolyn and I have had this conversation a couple of times. Should the head still be in, that it is secreting the deadly virus, the Rocky Mountain oyster virus, or whatever it is, best thing to do is grab a bullet and put it in the patient's mouth, grab a small, sharp object, and cut it out, suck the venom out, and then stitch it up, maybe pour some liquid. I watched this on a cowboy movie. I know this is how this works.
Western shows. So part of the show is to make sure that we can differentiate between good advice from maybe Carolyn Sheridan and Sean Gross and bad advice from Al. So that was just bad advice, just for the listening audience.
I thought the doctor could have said so if he thought so. He's a medical professional.
I wanted to hear the whole story of how.
Well, yeah. Then you got to give him a shot of Jack Daniels to take the edge off before cutting, and you put some on there at the end to clean the wound. I've seen the movie. Okay. It might have been a snake bite, but I think it's basically the same theory.
Maybe not the tick. But my question to Sean was, okay, if I'm going to send it in, is it okay if I do my traditional alcohol? So I've got alcohol here with ticks.
No, you're going to ruin the specimen. You don't want them all played. That's why you don't want them burnt, I bet.
Yeah, so you could definitely use the alcohol. That's totally fine. You can send them in after you put them in the freezer, if you just pull them off and stick them in the baggie, whichever sort of strategy you want to do. There's even what we call other. So some people like to maybe put it in oil or hydrogen peroxide, whatever they have around, just dump it into their...
That doesn't ruin the specimen, sir? You're trying to figure out what's inside it.
Yeah, so our tests are pretty robust. They should, in most cases, be able to detect those things, and we haven't noticed... we haven't tried everything on the planet to figure out what does and doesn't, but we do try to rinse off the ticks a little bit to take off what might be still on there.
It just seems to me, you put it in a plastic bag a Ziploc, a small one. You don't need the big one. That's for amputations. We'll talk that another time. But you put them in, and you just mail them. What do I care? You mail them alive. If they make it there alive, good for you. You can handle it, Sean. If not, you got dead tick. Why am I putting it in... Why would my postman want to pick up your peroxide-filled...
I guess I feel better about alcohol, but really online, it's a great. You just click and we'll put it, like I said, on Facebook. It tells you if you have one tick, they'll send you one bag, and if you have two or more ticks, like you got a way to send multiple ticks in too, right, John?
Yep, exactly.
Well, this is a whole summer-long project. Or do you just want May ticks? Are you doing this by the month, or you want them all summer long?
This is all summer long, and I'm hopefully going to keep this going for years to come. So we'll be able to have this every year for indefinite future.
You've got to be so fun at a party. What are you doing this year, Sean? Oh, doing the tick thing like last year. This is my thing. All right, and it's an honest to goodness thing. I'm still waiting for you guys to tell me this is not. It's the Nebraska tick testing. It's not for Nebraska ticks. All ticks are included. NETT, it's called. We do have the website on our Facebook page. It costs nothing except the mailing of 56-cent stamp or whatever it is to mail them to you?
Yep, we'd prefer you to use the padded envelope just for safety purposes of the tick.
Of the tick? What are you? Shush up! You're kidding me, Sean. This has got to be
you got to be able to look at it. So
this has got to be a federal grant thing. If you got to have it in a cushioned envelope, when at the same time, Really?
Well, just think about the postal service. I'm sure nobody wants them crawling out of the envelope if you didn't lick it properly. But you do have to fill out like a short form. Yeah, really, it's like so. I'm looking at it right now. What date did you collect the tick? How did you store the tick? Where was the tick found? Were any of the personal protective equipment stuff used? The stuff did you use any DEET or clothing or anything like that? And what location?
I want to list all the crazy diseases. Does that come in the packet? I want to know what's out there that I could get.
Yes, yeah. We will give you a report back, and so on that report, it will tell you everything that we have.
No, Sean, you're missing my point. I'm going to send you a bunch of ticks. I'm telling you right now, there's nothing there. You might get a limer in there. I don't know. I've been 60 years old, same golf course. We're not getting anything. You're not going to get anything. You'll get ticks from me, but we're not going to have anything. I want to know the possibilities, though. I want to know what this Rocky Mountain oyster thing. I want to know about the Himalayan fever and all that. I want to see what's out there. That would be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Look to see. So our website has a resources tab, and that has a bunch of resources that have been put together where it talks about the different type of tick-borne diseases that are out there. It has a couple nice links to some other states. So other state health departments have kind of been making maps. And then we are also going to make a map. So at the end of each year, after our testing kind of winds down, so early, mid-fall, we'll make a map and we'll be able to say, these are the ticks we received, and this is where we got them from, and here's what we saw across the different areas.
You're like Wall Drug. You're like Wall Drug. Put a pin up where you grabbed a tick from. I kind of like.
It is that way.
It's exactly what it is.
I like to know that too, and also and I talk about my grandkids and stuff too, because we can't talk about. We do need to check for ticks. Right? I look at the list that's online, and there's nothing short of like 12 tick-borne diseases in the Midwest, and so it's nice to know where they are.
We're running up against a heartbreak, and I'm sorry, Sean. You can come back anytime because Carolyn loves talking about ticks. UNMC.edu, University of Nebraska Medical Center.edu/public health. You'll find it. It's also on our Facebook page. Sean, I appreciate you coming here. We got to have that cigar and a beverage and talk ticks sometimes. I think it'll be hilarious.
Anytime.
I appreciate you, Sean.
I'm invited too.
Yes, Carolyn, you can bring her ticks.
She brings the ticks. Exactly right. We'll call it a tick party. It'll be a great time. All right. Back after this with more. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Carolyn.